Have you guys done the money management sheet? Oh, you haven't done it yet? Okay. Niranjana, are you following? That time, yeah, you have done, but are you following it through?
Yeah. I just want to, just want to mention like 5 more days. I'm just doing it.
Amazing, amazing. And just do it. And like I shared, okay,
Hmm.
okay. No problem, Sarita. Do it for October and November if possible. Or November, you do it. And I know like we are having so many priorities, and then this thing takes the back seat. So take out some time, 15, 20 minutes, and please do it on priority. We will begin. Others will keep joining. So last session we learned about savings and investments. Is it clear? Any confusion in that? Savings, investment, use assets and investment assets. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I'll share the previous session. It was half an hour only. We covered small topics, and I felt like more people have not joined, so I didn't cover the major part. And today also, I can't see all of you joining. I don't know like what magic I have to bring to motivate all of you to come. No problem, Niranjana. Thank you for joining. Yeah, hi Deepika.
Hi.
Okay, so for now, I got three consistent student. Others are not showing up. Thank you so much for joining. So last session, okay, quick revision. If you remember what is assets, asset क्या होता है? Deepika, you can unmute and say it.
Yes, Sampati. Sampati, I think.
Yes,
Uh,
संपत्ति, धन संपत्ति एंड जो चीज हमारे पैसे को और बढ़ाए, समथिंग दैट मेक आवर मनी ग्रो, मनी वर्किंग फॉर अस. ठीक है. That is investment, money working for us. Savings is okay, we have earned something, now we have put it maybe safely in cash or savings. Investment is where your money is working for you, harder than you, earning more money for you. And asset is something that generate income for you, that has value or that increase in value. And then we discussed about investment assets and use asset. Use asset is also asset. We have put in money, but we are using it. We are not intending it to sell. So the example that I had given was house, car. So that these are also properties. If you have to sell it, you will get some money, but definitely it's not appreciating in value, and you are not in, even if it's appreciating in value, you are not intending it to sell for any of your goal, maybe for your daughter's education, marriage, for your financial freedom. You don't want to sell that, you want to keep it, you want to use it. Investment assets are that assets that we use for our goals, for our financial freedom, for getting passive income out of it. So that is the difference. So many a times we think house is the biggest investment, jewelry is the investment, and car is the investment. These are not the investment, these are our use asset. There is nothing wrong in making those investment, but we need to be clear that we are putting our money into the use assets. And because when you have to use money from your use asset, it becomes a pain. Let's say you have a house or jewelry. If you have to sell it for any of your goal, it hurts us emotionally. So these are not the investment asset. So whenever we talk about wealth creation, legacy creation, or anything, or for the fulfillment of goal, we always talk about investment asset. And here also we will be talking about the investment assets from now on. Is it clear? Use assets, investments assets? Yes, great. So today's session, we will be focusing mainly on the fixed income and gold. And then from next session, we will be moving on to the equity and different asset classes. And like I mentioned in the last session, no asset class is bad, good or bad. Every asset class has its own purpose. Fixed income has its own purpose. Gold has its own purpose. Real estate has its own purpose. Equity has its own purpose. So we need to see based on our goal what is important and have everything in the proportion that is best suitable for us, for our risk taking capacity, for our goals, the timeline that we have, based on all the things. And just a quick glance of the asset classes, like broadly, these are the five categories. Fixed income means you have put your money like FD. You have put your money and you are getting a certain percentage, like in FD, PPF, EPF, debt mutual funds, bonds. So this gives you the stability, safety, and predictable return. There is no risk. If FD's return is 6%, you are going to get 6% every year. If PPF's return is 7.1%, you are going to get it every year. The only thing, the rates can revise. Next year, the rate may get lower, but it is fixed. Second is equity. Equity means stocks, equity mutual fund or direct stock. And here the purpose of investing is long-term growth and wealth creation. When you are investing in fixed income, your purpose is stability, safety, and predictable return. So when, let's say, you are in retirement, you are not working, you need to have that predictability of income. This much I will be getting. You can't take much risk. But when you are in a at an age where your goals are far away, you have to accumulate wealth, then equity is the best option. And when I say best option, it doesn't mean you have to put all your money in one asset. Major you can do it. And gold SGB, now the government has stopped SGB, but ETF and digital gold. And now there is one thing, digital gold is becoming famous. And then now almost every payment company, every jeweler, they have started giving digital gold. And I will tell you don't have to buy the digital gold from everywhere. These are not regulated platform. Even there is one platform that is even giving bonus on buying the digital gold. I don't know how much it will sustain. Okay, let's say if you are purchasing 10 gram, it will give you 1 gram free, like that. So these are not sustainable model, and whenever you have to invest in gold digitally, do through ETF. ETF are the safest option, ETF or the mutual fund. Currently, SGB is also not there because government has stopped. Earlier, SGB was the best option. Their government was also giving us interest 2.5%. It was from the government, RBI. And gold's main purpose is hedge against inflation and uncertainty. Generally, the gold price remains stable, or now it has grown quite a bit. ETF is exchange traded fund. This is also kind of mutual fund where different banks or big AMCs, they buy the physical gold and they issue the digital part of it. I will cover it little later. ETF, what is ETF, what is mutual fund. So here just understand digital or physical. Yes. And then the real estate comes. So real estate could be residential, like we own our house and all. Commercial means, and also it could be land. Commercial means you have bought a shop and put it on the rent, or you have invested in some commercial properties. And now there are different options coming up for the real estate also. Even if you want to invest 5,000, 10,000 in the real estate properties, now through the REITs you can do that. And I will be talking about that little later. Uh, so here real estate, the benefit, when I'm talking about residential and commercial, I'm not talking about our house, that is the use asset. And now we are only talking about the investment assets. So when I talk about real estate, that is residential. So when you invest in another house, you get the rent. You invest in another land, you want the capital appreciation. You invest in commercial properties, कोई shop में या कहीं पर, you are expecting the capital appreciation and also the rent. So real estate is something tangible. You can see, you can go, and it feels like a real asset. I'm having something. This is my land, this is my house, this is my property, right? And we feel very proud, like something tangible, no? We can see. And then there is one more category of alternative. These are the SIF, specialized investment funds, private equity, venture capital, all of it. And Gift City is also there. And these are the higher risk options, and you can use it for little diversification in your portfolio. So all these asset classes, but there are some other asset classes also, but majorly if you see, these are the five things: fixed, equity, gold, real estate, and alternatives. Alternative, generally you consider like you are doing angel investing, you are doing venture capital, you are investing in AIFs, all these like a little bit high on the higher side. And a little bit about asset allocation. I'll do a session after we cover all the session on asset allocation specifically, but here it is little bit. Asset allocation means how much of one asset class should I hold. As I told you, there is like you should not have only just one thing in your portfolio. Like some people will do go too heavy on fixed income. 80% of their portfolio will be just fixed. Some people are too invested in gold. Most of their investments are in gold. Some persons are only stocks or mutual fund. So you have to do the balancing of your investments. Okay. And over the long term, asset allocation matters the most. If you are just investing in one asset class, you may leave behind with others. So asset allocation is the foundational principle on which your portfolio should be built. Because at any point in time, let's say for your emergency, you may need some fixed income. You also need the growth. That means you need the equity. And you also need some amount of gold, some kind of a hedge. So all these things are important. And here is a sample allocation that I have shown. Consumer, if you are too conservative, let's say you have retired, you have no more sources. So 70% you can put in fixed income, 20% in equity, 10% in gold. Second is the balanced one. Let's say you are not too like you are not retiree kind of a person, but you are fearful of the market whenever market goes down, or you can't trust the market, then 50% in fixed income, and then also I'll say 40% around in equity and 10% in gold and silver you can do. And these are just the basic guideline, and there is like for individuals also it differs. These are the if you feel you are aggressive, still you can do 20% in fixed, 70 in equity, and 10% in gold. Like this you can do the some asset allocation. And like other things you can include and delete. So this is like basic thing, that equity and gold, all these things we need to have in some proportion, and it varies depending on our capacity, our income, our risk tolerance, our goal, the timeline that we have. So based on all these things, the allocation differs, and how much is your return expectation, all these things. So is it clear, asset allocation part? Yeah. So now little bit in detail about this fixed income. So fixed income is nothing but investment that deliver the stable, predictable, and low risk return. Okay, there is nothing like zero risk. Some risk is always there. Let's say if you have done the FD, if tomorrow bank closes, only 5 lakh is safe with the bank. Up to 5 lakh FD is secured from the government. Government pay you 5 lakh. If you have invested 50 lakh, you have done 50 lakh FD also, 45 lakh is on risk. Government will pay you only 5 lakh. That much security they do. um, so, but again, like there is very low chances कि bank will go bankrupt, but these also issues happens. So these are called very low risk. Still, I can't, still you can't say it's zero risk, it's low risk thing. Okay. And when you invest in small banks, okay, so there you will see they are giving more fixed return. So let's say HDFC will give you 6%. If you go to AU Small Finance Bank, they will give you 8 or 9% return. 8%. If you go to the corporate FDs, like let's say Shriram Finance, Bajaj Finance, they can give you up to 9.5%. Okay. Why they give higher return is because let's say if HDFC is giving 6% and this small bank has come, it is also giving 6%. No one will go there and take the FD. If I'm getting 6%, why would I take from AU? This is very small bank, right? So here the risk is little more. It is not like your money will go down, but the chances of HDFC closing and this small bank closing is little more. So when you are getting little bit higher return, always there is some risk associated. If I say stock 20% you can get, so that much risk is also associated. Let's say if government is giving the repo rate is 5% and over it, whatever you are getting, more over it, that much risk is always associated. If I'm giving you corporate FD, you will get, let's say, 9% return. But again, there is more risk because with banks, they have to deposit certain amount with the RBI for the emergency and for certain things. With corporate, they do not have to deposit anything with RBI. So these are more risky compared to. But here the return will not fluctuate. It will not happen that one day Niranjana has received 9%, next year she will receive 5%, next year she will receive 12%, next year she will receive 0%. It will never happen. Your return will be same. 9% means 9% every year. 7% means 7% every year until rate changes. Okay. Only the risk is closing of that bank, big bank, small bank, or corporate. Are you getting my point?
Yeah, yeah, got it.
Yeah. So it's not like those banks are not safe. They are also safe. But compared to that, compared to SBI, compared to HDFC, compared to ICICI, their risk is little more. And you can do up to 5 lakh investment in a small bank also because that much amount is secure with the government. If anything happens, that much you will receive from the government. But if you have to do more FD, then be mindful of investing more amount in the small banks because of the return. Because FD you are mainly doing for your safety. So be little more mindful, like more than 5 lakh. I do not recommend generally to do in small banks. Better to go for there are NSE, there are PPF, there is EPF. Go for all these alternatives. So some people I even give the corporate FD, but I tell them ki ha, because it's not like a corporate will shut down. There is little more risk. Even Shriram Finance, Bajaj Finance, they are also big now. Their valuation is also like 10,000 crores, 20,000 crores. They are also not going to shut down as very easily. But again, compared to big banks, the risk is more. The little risk is more.
So, but in small banks, you have told till 5 lakhs we can invest.
Hmm.
See, yeah, if anything happens, government will give that 5 lakh,
Yeah.
right?
But I'm not saying cooperative bank. Cooperating bank don't have any guarantee.
Okay.
Cooperative banks are different.
Mm,
Small bank, small banks are different. जैसे कि
okay.
अभी now there is different category के ना AU small bank, Ujjivan bank. So there are
Mhm.
certain banks, they have came and they are giving more returns than the normal like big banks because people will not come to them if they are getting the same return. So you can take the advantage, you can do the FD there, but be mindful, don't do more than 5 lakh.
जैसे HDFC और ICICI बैंक ये किस बैंक किस कैटेगरी में आ जाते हैं?
दीज आर द बिगेस्ट बैंक, मतलब ये तो यार मतलब हमारे इंडिया का ही हालत बहुत खराब हो जाएगा इफ समथिंग हैपेंस बिकॉज स्ट्रक्चर मतलब दीज बैंक्स आर द पार्ट ऑफ आवर इकोनॉमीज स्ट्रक्चर। जो बड़े बड़े बैंक है ना, SBI, HDFC, ICICI या एक्सिस, जो भी बड़े बैंक्स हैं, मतलब हमारा कंट्री का पूरा इकोनॉमी ही उनसे रन हो रहा है काइंड ऑफ। तो वहां पे चांसेस बहुत ही कम है, बट समटाइम जैसे कि अभी जो 2008 में यूएस में जो क्राइसिस हुआ था, तो दैट वाज आल्सो वन ऑफ यूएस, जो यूएस का बहुत बड़ा ही बैंक था, बट देयर वर सर्टेन प्रैक्टिसेस दैट वर गोइंग देयर अननोटिस, तो उसके वजह से पूरा क्राइसिस आया, बहुत सारे कंपनीज को लॉस हुआ। तो समटाइम समथिंग कैन हैपन, दैट इज व्हाट आई मेंट टू से। मतलब नथिंग इज रिस्क फ्री, बट चांसेस आर वेरी लो, एंड देन व्हाट हैपेंस ना, गवर्नमेंट आल्सो कम्स देन टू सेव, क्योंकि पूरा इकोनॉमी जाएगा तो देन दैट टाइम यूएस गवर्नमेंट केम दैट सपोर्टेड लेमन ब्रदर्स एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स हैपेंड। पर जनरली जो भी बड़े बैंक हैं वो वी कंसीडर सेफ, क्योंकि हमारी इकोनॉमी भी तभी तक सेफ है जब तक हमारे बैंक्स एंड ऑल दिस स्ट्रक्चर, बिकॉज दीज आर द फाउंडेशंस ऑफ इकोनॉमी। पर छोटे बैंक का क्या है कि छोटा बैंक है, अगर कोई फाउंडर ने गलत कर दिया सम मेल प्रैक्टिसेस आर गोइंग ऑन। तो वहां पे थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होता है। बिग बैंक्स वहां पे स्ट्रक्चर, कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस, वो सारी चीजें ज्यादा होती हैं।
ओके, वन क्वेश्चन कि चलो ये बैंक का है, बैंक वैसे बहुत कम चांसेस होते हैं ऐसा कुछ होना,
यस।
बट जैसे म्यूचुअल फंड में ये वाली दिक्कत नहीं है कि अगर बैंक तो ऐसा कुछ होता है तो उसमें भी आ सकती है ना ये प्रॉब्लम तो।
म्यूचुअल फंड में क्या होता है, आई विल कवर दैट इन दैट म्यूचुअल फंड, वरना फिर कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे। पहले हम
ओके।
म्यूचुअल फंड समझेंगे, दैट देन आई विल टेल अबाउट दैट म्यूचुअल फंड।
ओके।
ठीक है।
हम्म।
हम्म। तो जो हमें फिक्स्ड इनकम है, इसका यूज किस किस के लिए करना है? कोई शॉर्ट टर्म फाइनेंशियल गोल है हमारा, कोई भी ऐसी चीज है जैसे आपको वेकेशन पे जाना है, या 1 साल के बाद बच्चे का कॉलेज में एडमिशन कराना है, समथिंग दैट इज कमिंग वेरी नियर, 1 ईयर, 2 ईयर, 3 ईयर। So majorly you have to use the fixed income options there because you don't want to take risk. काफी बार क्या होता है, and lot of time I'm seeing people they are putting money in equity and stocks कि मुझे शॉर्ट टर्म में गेन हो जाएगा, आई वॉन्ट टू मेक मनी इन शॉर्ट टर्म। Short term, even experts are not sure how much will they make or not make. We are not even that expert. So don't put your money that you require within a year or 2 year in stocks and mutual funds. ठीक है, इक्विटी में आपको 1-2 साल वाला पैसा नहीं डालना है, कीप इट सेफ। यस, पीपीएफ इज फिक्स्ड इनकम। And
यस।
whatever is your emergency fund, you can use some. And I don't recommend 100% in fixed income to be true, because emergency is something that that may come or may not come. So 1/3 portion I generally recommend keep it in liquid, and 2/3 portion you can invest in multi-asset fund, because you don't want to lose on the compounding also. Some fund, let's say you need let's say 10 lakh for your emergency fund. 6 months expenses are, let's say, 5 lakh or 6 lakh. Okay. So I would not like you to invest everything in FD. So you can like make some proportion, but certainly like 2-3 months expenses should be in fixed income. So you can have fixed income for your emergency. It adds stability to your portfolio. And also there is one more benefit of fixed income. Let's say some allocation you are doing. Let's say you are very aggressive. You can put all your money in equity. You don't need it right now. But again, what happens if you are having fixed income, even though you are fully aggressive, when market goes down, you get the opportunity to buy at low. ठीक है, जैसे कि अभी मार्केट लास्ट ईयर बहुत डाउन भी था। अगर आपका फिक्स्ड इनकम में कुछ पैसा होता, यू कुड हैव मूव्ड इन, पुट इन द इक्विटी। एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम पीपल बिकम fearful when market is down, but that is an opportunity where you are getting the things on sale, kind of a thing, like on a discount. So fixed income from that perspective is also good. At least 10% everyone needs to have in their portfolio. And it reduces volatility, because only in equity you are investing. If market goes down, our emotions also goes down. When you see 10 lakh loss, 15 lakh loss in the portfolio, it really gives you some nerves. And these are some of the options. There are many other options available of the fixed income. So bank FD, bank RD, and here the main disadvantage is you have to pay taxes. Okay. If your income is in the tax slab, you have to pay taxes. Let's say if you are paying 30%, you are in 30% tax slab. If you're if you are earning 6%, but your effective rate will be 4% after tax. So if you are not in the tax slab, then it makes sense. And for male client, generally, like whoever is not working, women, I recommend doing their name. At least you will save on the taxes on interest, right? So bank FD and RD, and people just see 6%, 8%, they forget about the taxes. So whatever is the tax slab, you have to pay taxes on your interest. So that is the main disadvantage of FD and RD. Second is the PPF. So PPF is public provident fund. You get current interest rate that is going is 7.1%. And here the main advantage, it is tax free and it is backed by government. It is मतलब kind of risk free. Okay, because it is backed by government. The only disadvantage is it is advantage or disadvantage, whatever you call it. It has 15-year lock-in. Whatever money you are putting in, 15 year you have to wait. After 15 year, it will get mature. Okay. And then EPF and BPF, if you are a working professional, employee provident fund and voluntary provident fund options are there where you invest and you get around 8%. And these are the good way of doing fixed income rather than FD. So let's say if you are in a job, rather than doing FD where you have to pay taxes, you can increase your contribution in EPF and BPF. So there you will be receiving more interest also around 8%, and it is also tax free. And next option is Sukanya Samriddhi. If you are having a girl child, you can put your money and around 8.1 or 8.2% you get there. Again, the only advantage or disadvantage, whatever you call it, is the lock-in period of 21 year. At 21, it will get mature, but you are allowed to withdraw some fund for a higher education or some of the things. And good part is a lot of people are doing in Sukanya Samriddhi. So government has promoted something, and here also the returns are tax free. That is the advantage. But main thing that I feel is like when your kid is small, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 year, you are having 20 years of time. Many a times people are losing on the opportunity to invest in equity because that you have really 20 year for the compounding. And in place of 8%, if you can get 12%, the amount that you will get is huge, almost double or triple amount you will get. And the idea is like not to stop in Sukanya Samriddhi, but just see if you can do some balance. Let's say if you are having only 1.5 lakh to invest, let's say half amount in Sukanya and half amount in equity. At least it will balance your returns. If you are having investing more than that, then it's fine. Again, here also comes the asset allocation part. Let's say you are investing for your daughter. Don't put all the money in Sukanya Samriddhi. Put some part in riskier also. There is higher chance of getting the returns. But in fixed income, if you want to fixed income, that is one of the best scheme available where the income is tax free, interest is tax free, and the one of the highest interest rate you are receiving. So in fixed income, this is one of the best scheme, Sukanya Samriddhi. And then there are government securities. We call them the gilt fund. There also you receive 6%, 7%, 8% based on the maturity. Then there are corporate bonds. These are the like company when they take the loan, they can take from the government, they can take from the public. So when they take from the public, it is called the bonds, and they pay interest, and the interest is slightly higher than the FD. Like in FD, you are getting 6%. Corporate FD, corporate bonds will give you around 8%, 9% like that. And some corporate whose rating is below average, they give even 12%, 13% also. But the risk is higher there of them going closed off. So everything, whenever you are getting more return, it's coming with some more risk. Just remember that. Okay. And then there are post office schemes like National Savings Certificate. And for senior citizen,
हाँ जाओ
कहाँ बेटा?
हाँ जाओ
मम्मा हाफ एन आवर में आए?
हम भी आ
अब
जाओ
just 1 minute. Guys, sorry, just give me 1 minute. He wants to show something. I will just come. Till then, if you have any question, any confusion, you can just note that down and let me know. I'm just coming in 1 minute. Yes, I am back. Are you guys here? So sorry. Yeah. Yes. So any scheme or anything has any confusion or it's clear? Debt mutual fund, yeah, I know I have not covered. I'll take one proper session for that. After I tell you about the structure of mutual fund, how it works, then it will become little easier. So these are the category of debt mutual fund: liquid, ultra short, short duration. So again, if I'll explain now, it will create more confusion. So for now, other schemes are clear, except this debt mutual fund. Yes. So pros and cons, the benefit is, advantages is low risk, very low risk is there. Until company is going winding up, there is no risk. Only the risk is if the company winds up. मतलब अगर कंपनी ही बंद हो गई, कंपनी खत्म हो गई, then only you will not receive the income, else there is no risk. मतलब आपका रिटर्न फ्लक्चुएट नहीं होगा. If you are getting 9%, you will get 9%. If you are getting 7%, you will get 7%. Only risk is if that company, that bank, that institution, that corporate, that goes down. मतलब completely that winds up. They gives you predictable return and they're perfect for short term goals because you have the stability and you know exactly how much you will receive. And in short term, you don't want to take risk with your money. Okay, Deepika, you can watch the recording then. And it gives you emotional stability. You know, okay, this much I'm going to receive. With equity, what happens? It goes up and down, and then we feel, oh, what's happening? Right? So, fixed income gives you that emotional stability. Okay, my money is safe. And the thing is, now, when let's say you have invested 1 lakh and that 1 lakh also comes down, then the real emotions come into play. Oh, my money has gone down. So the limitation here is lower wealth creation. It doesn't give you more chance to create wealth for you. And many a times it even doesn't beat inflation. And many of the schemes come with the lock-in period like Sukanya Samruddhi, PPF, no, senior citizen doesn't have. Some of the schemes that are the good, they comes with some lock-in period. So the best suitability is for the emergency fund, your short-term goals, and if you are very conservative investor, you can't sleep peacefully when your money goes up and down. And also for balancing the equity volatility in your portfolio, this is required. Oh, here it is there. So do you want to know a little bit more in detail about EPF, PPF, Sukanya Samriddhi?
You just share about PPF and EPF.
Okay. So I'll cover. So this is the only thing that I. So PPF lock-in period is 15 year. Let's say if you are starting your account today, it is not the last money that you are depositing. The time you are opening the account, from that time, 15 year is the lock-in period. If let's say 2025 you are starting your account, then you at 15 year, 41 you will be able to take out the money from that. Are you here, Niranjana? Yes, Sarita. You can unmute and you can share. You are unable to unmute. I'm not allowed. Okay. I click on ask to unmute. Now try. Niranjana was still same. Okay. I have not put any other option for you. Niranjana was able to do. Now see. Else you can put your question in the chat box. I'm not getting any option to unmute or something like that. So PPF is one of the nice tool for retirement planning because all the returns are tax free. Lock-in is there so that you don't take out your money impulsively from there. So when you say 10% put in fixed income, it's from our wealth jar. Okay. Is a wealth jar. So here we are talking about the investment. So expenses and whatever you have done. So now I'm considering whatever is your saving. Let's say you are earning 100 rupees. You are spending 60 rupees. Your saving is 40 and from that 40 only you are investing. So here I am considering 40 rupees as 100. And from that 100%, like from that 40 rupees, 4 rupees you are 4 rupees you are putting in fixed income. That is called 10%. So out of you are earning 100 rupees, you are spending 60 rupees, you are saving 40. So in that 40 rupees, when I talk 10%, that means 4 rupees you are investing in fixed income. Is it clear? And investments are from the savings or the investment, our financial freedom jar, our goals jar, because other things are to just getting spent. And when we talk about investments comes from our savings only. Whatever we have saved from the savings only, we will be making our investments. Yes. So for PPF, the main advantage, it is the tax-free corpus. You don't have to pay taxes. So for someone who is in 20%, 30% tax slab, this is one of the best option. It has the lock-in period, so that also gives you some stability. You will not be going to take out the money from here. And also the contributions are tax deductible under 80C and interest is tax free. So these are the advantages because in FD you have to pay taxes on interest. And EPF, BPF also lock-in is there until retirement. The purpose is salary linked investment saving automatically deducted from salary with employer contribution. BPF is something that you are doing additionally. If you are in a job and so when you are in a job and you have to do some extra investment. So when you do in VPF, again you are earning, let's say EPF, my husband gets around 8% or 8.1%. So when you invest through VPF, voluntary provident fund, EPF is something that is getting auto deducted. 12% of your basic salary is getting auto deducted in EPF, and there is an option of VPF, voluntary provident fund. So where you can choose to invest a little more amount from your salary. Let's say currently 1 lakh is getting invested in EPF automatically and you want to increase it to 2 lakh. So that you can do through VPF. And the main advantage is it is helping you to create your retirement corpus. And again here also the returns, the interest is tax free. That is the main advantage, and all these investments are backed by the government. Okay, dear, no problem. So for the job person, if you're looking for fixed income for the retirement purpose, then EPF, PPF, all VPF, I would say EPF and VPF is first option should be, and then PPF. Because in VPF or EPF, you are receiving even more returns than PPF. And PPF is like for all of us like who are not in a job. So then for us, it makes sense to do PPF because
Whether
we can't do.
we can increase the amount of EPF
Yeah.
because only something they are deducting very less amount from the company side. We can increase it also.
Yes, that is called VPF. You can increase your, you can do voluntary contribution.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
again, there also your interest will be tax free. But the only thing that you have to be mindful, that you can't take out the money from there.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
That will be locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there is also upper limit. Maximum that interest is tax free is up to 7.5 lakh contribution. If your contribution is more than 7.5 lakh, so on top of that, whatever you are doing the contribution, you have to pay tax on interest. But most of us, I feel like 95% of us comes like below that limit.
Mm.
So if you are below that limit, you can do the VPF so that your
How?
interest is not getting taxed.
Okay.
Annual
Mm.
7.5 lakh.
Okay.
Hmm.
Fine.
And then third option is Sukanya Samriddhi, lock in up till 21. Purpose is securing your daughter's future, is special income for girl child, and this offers highest tax-free returns. Ideal for education, marriage expenses, and offer better return than PPF and is completely tax-free. Any confusion in all these? Because these three things I feel is important, like from the fixed income perspective. So SIP, is it fixed income? SIP is a method of doing investment. If you are doing SIP in PPF, you can do SIP in SS or Sukanya Samriddhi. Currently, let's say you are doing whatever SIP, if you're talking about that, that is in the equity. So their returns are not fixed. If you are doing in a debt mutual fund, then you will get the fixed return, fixed income. Debt mutual fund will give you the fixed income. Yes. And now coming to the digital gold. So there is two way of buying the gold. One way is you are going to the jeweler or to the shops where you are buying physical gold. That is one way of doing it. And there are many pros and cons. Pros is like you are getting physically something, and you know, like I have paid, let's say, 1 lakh and I have got this 10 gram of gold. So something physical is there. That is the pros. What are the cons? Many times you need huge sum to invest in gold, and regularly it's very tough to invest month on month in gold when you are doing physically. And then there is cost of carrying, there is risk of theft, and there is risk of purity. So there are lot many things. And digital gold comes with the option, you can even start with 500 rupees every month. You can start putting the small amounts every month in the gold. It will give you the benefit of like averaging out the cost. Many a times, even if you have to get the jewelry, you are planning to buy something, then also it is the best way कि ठीक है, you start accumulating the gold through these units, through the mutual fund, through the ETF. And um, and now one thing that is need to be, you all need to be very mindful when you say digital gold. Do not buy from everywhere the digital gold. That is not safe. Only the gold ETF and gold mutual funds are safe. These are regulated by SBI, SEBI. SEBI is the regulator of stock market and stock exchanges. Other gold, any jeweler that is giving you digital gold, phone pay is giving, Amazon is giving, Titan is giving, Gullak is giving, none of it is safe, none of it is guaranteed by government, none of it is regulated. So now the digital gold has gained some momentum, and all of the companies, small big, they are just launching digital gold. And now people are confused what is right or wrong. So whenever you have to buy digital gold, do not buy from any random platform. Just buy from, just see if it is a ETF or not. I'll explain what is ETF or mutual fund. Because in ETF and mutual fund, these are the regulated thing where your money is under some scrutiny. And other things are like that कि ठीक है, today I start my gold some wallet and I say Sarita, you pay me, I'll give you digital gold, and you are not sure how, if I'm having that gold or not. No one is watching, no one is over my head who is seeing कि am I doing the right thing or not. Tomorrow if I go, if I just take your money, you can't claim it from the government. There is no way of claiming. So whenever you are buying digital gold, do not buy from Phone Pay, Amazon Pay, or any. There is MTs, some other gold big jewelers. They are also offering digital gold. Do not buy from them because there is no regulated body over them. So digital gold is also gaining momentum for good because it gives you a chance to diversify, gives you a chance to start with even 500, 1000, accumulate gold, silver, all these things without worrying where to invest, without the risk. But and also it is like 24K purity that you are investing. You are not worried about making charges, GST, and all of those things, and you can get instant liquidity and the price will match. Let's say you have now bought 10 units, 10-gram gold. After 2 years, if you're redeeming, you will get the exact amount of 10 gram of gold. And
Yeah, Shweta, I have a doubt.
hmm.
Uh, Digital gold is like same as scheme, gold scheme, or this is different?
Digital gold now, actually what's happening, no, there are many providers who are providing digital gold. Even on Amazon you can buy, even on Paytm you can buy, even on Phone Pay you can buy digital gold. Okay.
Mm.
Yes, your minor child can invest in gold digitally. So I'll guide you separately for that. So what I am saying, just be mindful. Do not invest in those platforms, the providers that are giving Amazon, even though they are big, but these are not regulated. So when I talk about mutual funds are regulated funds. These are the regulated entities. They can't do anything they wish to do, or they can't do anything like that. They have to operate through the regulator, through the rules and regulation. They have to buy the gold, then only they can issue the assets. But with digital wallets and all, no one is seeing if they are buying the gold or not. So let's say if
Mhm.
I'm talking about, let's say, HDFC Gold ETF. So then if HDFC Gold ETF, if they are issuing some unit, they will be buying some gold. And regulator is there to oversee if they are doing it or not. But if you are buying from, let's say, Phone Pay, they may be doing or they may not be doing because regulator is not there. So that is not completely safe. So I
Okay.
am saying do not invest in that. So you can do like through mutual fund or ETF. Those are regulated thing. And yeah. Any other thing, any other confusion you have, you can ask.
Shweta, I'm asking, every month we are putting, a fixed amount in, jewelries, right? So, for example, every month, 1,000, after 10 months, I can get like a gold from them. So, is that same you are telling digital gold or it's something different?
You are taking, no, you are going to jeweler and you are giving them, right? That is what you
Yeah,
are saying.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So here in digital gold, you will never get the gold. You will get the equivalent amount. So let's say today you have bought 1 gram of gold for 10,000.
Mm.
After 1 year, if you are redeeming, if the value is 15,000, you will receive that. If the value is 8,000, you will receive that. So it will be equal to 1 gram of gold.
Okay.
Let's say if I give 10 gram of example, today the price is, let's say, 1 lakh.
Mm.
Can we remove the digital gold amount at our own time? Or you can put any time, you can remove any time. There is no time limit for investment in that. There is no lock-in period. So anytime, any amount you can invest. Yes. So jeweler, let's say, is the same thing, dear. In
Mm.
ETF, you are not going to jeweler. You are putting your money. Okay. Let's say today you have like 10,000 you are putting. And whatever is the rate, with that rate you are getting the unit. If it is more, you will get less. If it is less, you will get more. Okay. And let's say today you have bought 10 gram of gold for 1 lakh rupees.
Mm.
After 1 year, if you have to like get the jewelry, So they will give you the amount, what is the rate. Let's say 10 gram gold, 1 lakh rupees now has moved to 1.5 lakh. So they will, when you redeem the fund, you will receive 1.5 lakh in your account, and then you can go to the jeweler and buy the gold from there. They will match the price. They will match the price. You will get the same price of gold, but not the real gold. So you will receive the amount in your bank account, and then you have to go and buy whatever jewelry or anything that you want to buy.
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
और if the price, let's say 10,000, 10 gram gold का price अभी 1 lakh है, if it has gone to let's say 60,000, then you will receive 60,000 rupees. Exactly the value of gold you will receive. If it is
Correct.
more, you will receive more. If it is less, you will receive less.
Got it. Current value we will get, right?
Current value you will get.
Okay.
And whatever time you are buying, based on that you will receive. जो भी उस time का price होगा, उस price पे आपको मिलेगा. At the
Okay.
time of purchasing also, and at the time of selling also.
Mm.
ठीक है. And actually इसमें क्या ना, it's very easy. And even for I say कि like when you have to plan for your daughter's marriage or for your son's marriage. So for most of my client, I do 50% allocation in gold only, because most of the marriage expenses that we do are we have to buy gold,
Mm.
right? So and even from now, even 1 gram of gold also you are accumulating every month. In 10 year, you will be having more than 120 gram of gold, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly, if you have to buy 100 gram, 200 gram of gold, it becomes a burden. But if you are just buying 1 gram of gold every month, automatically you are having that much money. And then you are also not concerned about कि ठीक है अभी, sometimes it happens no कि now gold is 40, now it's 60, 1 lakh, how much it will go. But slowly you are accumulating it, and then ठीक है whatever is the higher and lower, and you know कि you have to get the jewelry out of it. And then you are not worried about it also कि ठीक है, if it goes up, that well and good, and not going, that is also fine, because you know why you are investing, and that is why the purpose of investing matters.
Mm.
And now the gold has reached like quite a high, and now we are not sure it will move up, but many people are investing more in gold. Okay, now it may go more up, like silver also, it has gone quite up. But matlab, now it may go or it may not go, because gold has seen certain period where 10 years it has not given any return. And most of the time we feel safe with gold, because the purpose of buying the gold is never to sell. We don't
Yeah.
check the price. So at the time of my marriage in 2012, the gold price was around 29 or 30. And
Mm.
after 10 year also it was almost the same. After not 10, I think 7, 8 year, when we bought the house, we sold some gold that time. And in between it has gone down also, 24, 25 also it came after my marriage. But many a times we don't see कि कितना loss है, profit है, because gold and all, our intention is कि we want to keep it. And with equity and mutual fund, what happens? No, you keep on seeing, oh, 10 years, no return. Why I have invested? Or like after 1 year, oh, I had invested 1 lakh, now it has become 80,000. I should take out my money. It's not good, right? So this is why, because of the behavioral biases, because most of the people come for the equity and mutual fund to make quick money. And to be true, 60% of the time equity don't deliver. Only 40% of the time, if you are invested in the market, it will reward you like anything. You can't make any money in any other asset. Simply you do the investment here, be consistent, you will get rewarded. But if you want to like make quick money, जल्दी पैसा बनाना है, or if market is low, you stop your SIP. Hmm. Sharpener. Sharpener. Okay. Just a minute. Oh, Baba. Can I give you the sharpened pencil?
As long as it's good, yes.
Hmm.
Press कर दूं?
नहीं baby, can you give me 2 minutes?
ना, दो, अभी दो.
अच्छा, wait. Just 1 minute. आप नीचे क्यों गिरे?
Okay, ना कोई point मारना.
ये यूं sharp हो रहा है. पापा के ले लूंगा। पापा इंग्लिश में क्या बोल दिया? मम्मा को नहीं मम्मा अच्छा 5 मिनट में देखती है, मम्मा 5 मिनट में क्लोज कर देती है, अंदर आएगी। So I think this was all for today. We'll do that mutual fund little later. So mainly fixed income means stability, gold means protection, and now we will be learning about equity, mutual funds, that is for growth. And like mainly like portfolio means having all the assets together, whatever we are doing the investment, all of it is called portfolio. Let's say you are having some real estate, you are having gold, you are having fixed income, you are having equity. So all the assets together, we call it portfolio. Okay. And now he's also getting cranky. I think we are done for today. We'll see you to next week. I'll take a pic. Thank you so much and put your learning in the group. Thank you, dears. Bye for now. See you next week.
Sure,
And
Shelly.
please don't wait for my reminder. Every Friday, 5 p.m. we are going to
Sure,
meet.
sure. Yeah, we'll join.
And many times I doubt like I have forgot to put the reminder. Okay, dears. Bye
Yeah.
bye.